Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm excited to bring you some easy, creative Christmas card designs with dies from our friends at Creative Expressions. Today, we're going to play with two sets of Christmas baubles. We have one set that has Noel and Be Merry, and a second set that reads Joy and Jingle Bells. Now, we have more dies. We also have the Midnight in the Forest. And we also have the Forest Stag, this really big, beautiful one here too. Now, I really like these last two for not only Christmas cards, but winter cards and masculine cards as well. Now, for Christmas sentiments, I'm going to use Merriest Christmas Wishes, and I have another one that says, We wish you a Merry Christmas. Now, these are great for the front of a card, but I'm going to put them to use for the card insides. Now, I have 4 projects to share with you today, and these cards will use papers from the Snowfall paper pack. This has 12 coordinating designs in 12 by 12 inch size, and they're double-sided and have beautiful wintry patterns on them. And you can see I put most of my pack to use, so I have just a few little snippets left over here to show you. But trust me, they are absolutely gorgeous and just so perfect for winter cards. I'm also going to use some snowflake dazzles, and I also have some clear glitter sheets that I'm going to put to use as well. So we're going to take a look at how to use these too. Everything's going to come together for a lovely winter effect. As you can see, we have a lot to explore, and I'm really glad you're joining us. So come play with us. Let's take a closer look at the dies. Our Forest Stag is really simple and easy to use, and this is so beautiful. It's nearly 6 inches tall and about 5 1/4 inches wide, so it makes a striking card focal. It has a really beautiful, intricate style that you can see here, and it looks really effective when cut and layered with contrasting paper colors. Now, don't forget, you also have the negative of the design, which you can use too. So you can have the positive or the negative, as you can see here. Now, going along with our woodland theme collection, our Midnight in the Forest die is about 4 3/4 inches in diameter. So this also makes a really lovely card focal. Now, this is a 2-part die. So you'll have the centerpiece, and then you'll also have a circle that you can use to create the circular mat on here. So this will give you, again, a couple of different options. So you can have this simply as it is, like so, the centerpiece, or you can also add that circular mat on there. Now, we also have 2 sets of the Christmas baubles. So let me show those to you. I'm going to get these ones out of the way and bring in just one of these Christmas baubles. So this is the Joy. Now, again, you've got a couple of different ways that you can use these. Like the Midnight design, these each have 2 dies. So you can see here you've got the centerpiece and you've got the circle. So you could simply use the centerpiece to cut from your cardstock. So that will give you just this effect. Now, I really think that if you are simply mounting this onto contrasting paper and you want to do clean and simple cards, or maybe you're batch making your Christmas cards, this is a really easy way to create a super effective design. But of course, you can incorporate more materials and techniques as well. So if you take the same Joy center die and you die cut it along with the matching circle, you will get something that looks like this. So you've got a beautiful circular image. Now, you can also take just the circle die and cut that, and then you'll have something that will layer up together like so. And this, of course, makes a beautiful, quick and easy card focal element. And these all measure about 3 1/2 inches in diameter. So you've got the Joy, you've got the Jingle Bells. Let's see, I'll move this aside. You've got the Be Merry, and then we also have Noel. So some really beautiful designs, all perfect for the front of your card. So now that we've seen how the dies work, let's see some examples. This card uses the Joy bauble from the Joy and Jingle Bells set. And you can see I've simply cut the centerpiece from white cardstock and then mounted it onto a circle die cut from craft cardstock. Now the front of the card has paper from that beautiful snowfall collection, and you can see how simply and easily these elements will come together. I've mounted the top and bottom of this piece of pattern paper with some craft cardstock, and also added some dazzle borders at the top and bottom as well. Flat back pearls are going to accent the snowflakes on here and create some really easy dimension. And I love how they interact so nicely with the pattern paper design. Now I can leave the card just like this. I can also add in some simple layering with my die. Now I always like to consider the snippability of my dies, and Creative Expressions dies are really good for this. So by snippability, I mean, what can I cut apart from the die cut element to use in different ways? So here I've got my die cut bauble with the joy word on here. And in this case, I can simply take a pair of scissors and snip away that main word of joy. And then I'll have an element that I can use either alone or together with something else. So let me pop this on here so you can see that better. Really quick and easy to die cut this and pop it out. Now I've die cut this from a nice soft lavender cardstock because I thought this would work really nicely with this beautiful pattern paper. So I can simply take this piece, add a little bit of glue, and apply it directly on top of the main portion of this image. So I've got a couple of different ways that I can use this. I think it looks good either way, but I love having that extra bit of versatility, and it gives you a little bit more value from your dies as well. Okay, now for the inside of the card, I've just added a simple strip of that beautiful pattern paper. I've got a couple of snowflake dazzles on here and also over on this side. And then I've used some dazzles for a Christmas message on here too. So whether or not you decide to take advantage of the snippability factor of these dies, I think you can see how easily a simple and beautiful card design can come together. Another way to use the Baubles collection is without the circle die, so just the center piece. So here you can see I've simply cut the Noel design into a larger piece of white cardstock and then mounted it onto a separate piece of off-white cardstock. Now the Noel, you might be able to see, this has been snipped separately as we looked at earlier in the webisode, and I've also layered this on top. But this Noel has a little bit of sparkle to it, and this comes from our glitter sheets. So these are 8 1/4 by 11 3/4 clear glitter acetate sheets, and you can use these in lots of different ways. Of course, one of my favorite ways is to die cut this, and it's super easy to do. So I'm going to share that technique with you. I'm going to move aside my card and keep in my die. I've also got a piece of that glitter acetate, so I've trimmed this down so that it is just a little bit bigger than my word Noel on here because I don't want to waste any of it. Now I've also got a piece of white cardstock here. So the glitter acetate sheets are self-adhesive, which means that I'm going to apply this onto the white cardstock to give it a little bit of extra stability. Now you might be thinking, can I just die cut directly into that glitter sheet? And the short answer is yes, but you will have a very intricate piece that is very sticky, and if you're anything like me, those two ends are going to stick to each other and it'll be really frustrating. So I put mine onto some white cardstock, and it gives a little bit more security, and it also allows for easier placement. So now that I've got this on here, I just pop down my die. Again, I don't need to make it big enough for the entire die because I really just want that word Noel. So I'm going to tack this down with a little bit of washi tape or masking tape, run it through my die cutting machine, and then when I get my piece out and I snip around the excess, I'm going to have a beautiful, shimmery, iridescent word like this. Now, if you're wondering too what that acetate glitter sheet will look like on black, it'll give you a completely different look. So it really will depend on what color cardstock you're applying it onto. So now in this case, what I've done is simply taken my beautiful iridescent Noel and just popped it down right on top of the other main design. Now I have to show you this because of course I did die cut the entire Noel piece from that beautiful clear glitter acetate. And this is what it looks like. So also really beautiful, whether you're using the snippability technique or you're going for the whole thing. Okay, so taking another look at my card, you can see that I've just used some of that beautiful pattern paper in the back, also some dazzles and some of those pastel flat back pearls and a bit of ribbon. Now for the inside, I've die cut the Merriest Christmas Wishes sentiment die from Glitter Sheet and added it right down here at the bottom. Again, more of our beautiful pattern paper too. Now, because that beautiful glitter sheet works so nicely for die cutting, I also used it on this card, along with the Midnight in the Forest die. So here I've die cut the main image from black cardstock. It gives it a bit of a silhouette effect. And I cut the background circle from that glitter sheet. It's a subtle look and it gives a nice snowy effect, I think. Now this element is popped up on some foam tape. I like that for a little bit of extra lift. Now we've got some more snowflake dazzles working here on the background of the card. More of those flat back pearls, and on the inside, again, I've got some snowflake dazzles and also this beautiful die cut sentiment message. Now this circle that you see on here, this is the circle die from the set, but I've just used it to cut from some pattern paper and then trimmed off the excess around on the corners here. Okay, so we have one more die to look at, and that is the stag. So keep in mind that the stag die is actually quite substantial in size, nearly 6 inches tall and about 5¼ inches wide. So he just fits onto a 5 by 6½ inch blank card when positioned vertically. Now, if you want your card to go horizontally, you can also take into account the snippability technique, and you can simply trim part of him off. I know that's a bit hard for us animal lovers. But before you would glue him down, it is a good idea to play with the positioning just to make sure that you've got enough of the body on here for the stag to be recognizable and also to allow for some other elements you might want to put onto your card. So I've done a quick and easy card with this technique and wanted to show this to you. And I wanted to create some layers. So I made a border here, and then I also used a die cut scalloped rectangle to sort of spotlight the stag's head. I have 3 layers of paper going on here. I've got the background, I've got the border, and I've got this focal element, and they are all from the same sheet of that snowfall paper. But because of the variances in the paper colors, you get a really beautiful sense of light and dark in here. I just absolutely love that. And of course, by matting each of those pieces with white cardstock, it allows you to have a little bit of separation between each of those elements. Now I've got some more dazzle snowflakes. I've got some more flat back pearls on here. And for contrast, I've added a red ribbon and a red Noel dazzle. If you wanted this to go more tone on tone, you could just swap those out for gold or even silver. But I like to have a little pop of color in there sometimes too. Now for the card inside, I've got more snowflakes, more of that beautiful pattern paper, and then another finishing touch on that dazzle sentiment. So with this last card, I think we've seen just how versatile these dies, paper, and glitter sheets are for Christmas cards. And hopefully this has inspired you as you're thinking about your own holiday designs. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for being a part of the Paper Wishes family. We're really glad that you're here with us. I can't wait to see what you create. So do be sure to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, just see this webisode on paperwishes.com.